You have done everything right. You have counted every calorie and logged every single gram of protein. You have swapped your morning bagel for a green smoothie that tastes like grass. You have spent hours on the treadmill until your knees ache and your spirit feels crushed. And yet, when you step on that scale every Monday morning, the numbers do not budge, or even worse, they go up. It feels like a personal betrayal. You are doing the work, but your body is simply not following the script. This is the paradox of the perfect diet. It is the exact point where most people decide that they are just not meant to be lean. They think they lack the discipline or the genetics to succeed. I am here to tell you that you are wrong. I am Zara. I am a health and fitness medical researcher and behavioral weight loss analyst. I do not wear a white coat, and I am not a medical doctor. I am a researcher who looks at the data that often gets ignored in favor of quick fixes and fad supplements. I spend my time analyzing the intersection of human biology and the behavioral traps that keep us stuck. I represent your frustration because I see the science behind why you are struggling. You are not failing because of a lack of willpower. You are failing because your internal machinery is jammed. The truth is that weight loss is not a simple math equation of calories in versus calories out. If it were that easy, the weight loss industry would not be worth billions of dollars. There is a master controller inside of you that decides whether you burn fat for energy or lock it away in storage. That controller is your liver. Right now, for most of you watching this, your liver is stuck in the wrong setting. It has flipped the switch to store mode, and it is refusing to budge. Your liver is the primary filter for everything you consume. When it becomes overwhelmed by the modern environment, it stops being a furnace and starts being a warehouse. You can eat all the kale in the world, but if your master metabolic switch is stuck, you will remain stuck too. We are going to look at the science of why your liver is holding your progress hostage. You have been told for decades that weight loss is a simple math equation. Eat less, move more, and the fat will melt away. It sounds logical on paper. But if that were true, you would not be here watching this. You have likely tried the 1,000-calorie diets and the grueling morning cardio sessions. You have pushed your body to the brink of exhaustion only to see the scale refuse to budge. This is because you are fighting a biological battle with a broken weapon. When your liver is congested with toxins and excess fat, it cannot prioritize energy burning. It is too busy trying to survive. Your liver is responsible for over 500 functions, including the regulation of glucose and the breakdown of fats. If it is sluggish, it does not matter how much you starve yourself. Your body perceives this calorie deficit as a threat. Instead of burning your stored fat, it clings to it even tighter. This is not a failure of your character. It is a failure of your internal chemistry. This is the hidden barrier that the fitness industry ignores. They want you to believe it is a lack of willpower. They want you to think you are just not trying hard enough. But you cannot outrun a liver that has stopped communicating with your metabolic hormones. When your liver is compromised, it sends signals to your body to store every single calorie as fat for future emergencies. You are essentially trying to drive a car with a seized engine. You can put the best fuel in the tank, but you are not going anywhere. We have to stop looking at the quantity of food and start looking at the quality of your internal processing. Your liver is the gatekeeper. If the gate is locked, no amount of exercise will force it open. We need to understand that fat loss is not just about a calorie deficit. It is about metabolic efficiency. If your liver cannot process the nutrients you provide, it will continue to store them in your midsection, your thighs, and around your organs. This is the pattern of failure that we are going to break today. To break that pattern, you have to look at the liver as the master gatekeeper of your metabolism. It is responsible for over 500 functions, but for our purposes, we are focusing on two critical roles. First, it produces bile. This is the fluid that breaks down fats so your body can actually use them. Second, it manages your blood glucose levels. When you eat, your liver decides if that energy goes toward immediate fuel, or if it gets tucked away into storage. If your liver is overwhelmed, it cannot perform these tasks effectively. It becomes sluggish, and your fat loss stalls before it even begins. This leads us to a concept I call metabolic priority. Think of your liver as a high-pressure triage center. It has a very specific list of tasks, and it follows that list in a strict order of operations. At the very top of that list is detoxification. Your body views alcohol, environmental toxins, and even certain metabolic byproducts, as immediate threats to your survival. Because of this, the liver will drop everything else it is doing to process those toxins first. It does not care about your goal to look lean in a swimsuit. It cares about keeping your blood clean. This is where the math of a calorie deficit often fails. If you are consuming alcohol or processed foods laden with chemicals, your liver is stuck in a loop of constant detoxification. While it is busy neutralizing those substances, it completely pauses the oxidation of fatty acids. Fat burning is at the bottom of the priority list. It is a luxury function that the body only performs when the environment is safe and clean. You can run on a treadmill for an hour, but if your liver is still processing drinks from the previous night or a heavy load of preservatives, it will not pull energy from your adipose tissue. It simply does not have the bandwidth. You are essentially asking your body to renovate the kitchen while the house is on fire. It is not going to happen until the fire is out. I am Zara, and we need to look at the biological reality of why your liver is currently working against you. When we discuss non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, many people assume it is a condition reserved for the chronically obese. That is a dangerous misunderstanding. You could appear fit on the outside and still have a liver that is drowning in its own cellular waste. This brings us to a process called de novo lipogenesis, which literally translates to the new creation of fat. When you consume high amounts of fructose, which is the primary sugar found in processed snacks and sweetened beverages, your body handles it in a very specific way. While your muscles can use glucose for fuel, they have absolutely no use for fructose. Every single gram of that sugar goes directly to your liver for processing. If your energy stores are already full, your liver has only one option remaining. It converts that sugar into liquid fat droplets. This is not just fat that sits on your hips or under your skin. These are microscopic lipids that lodge themselves directly inside the liver cells. Think of it like pouring hot grease down a kitchen sink day after day until the pipes are completely obstructed. As these fat droplets accumulate, they trigger a state of chronic inflammation. This is the exact point where the communication lines of your metabolism break down. Your liver is supposed to be the command center for your entire metabolic system. It is responsible for telling your body when to release stored energy and when to store it. However, when the liver is packed with fat from de novo lipogenesis, it becomes insulin resistant. Even when your insulin levels are high and signaling for a change, the liver ignores the message. It continues to pump sugar into your bloodstream and refuses to signal for fat oxidation. You are essentially trapped in a physiological loop. Your body might have the desire to burn fat, but the liver is physically blocked from sending the order. It is not a matter of willpower or trying harder. It is a matter of organ function. Until you clear that metabolic congestion and stop the constant influx of fructose, your liver will remain in survival mode, prioritizing the management of toxic sugar over the burning of your body fat. This is where the multi-million-dollar juice cleanse industry fails you. I am Zara, and I have spent years analyzing the metabolic data that these marketing campaigns ignore. They tell you that you are flushing your system. They claim that by drinking nothing but green liquid and pulverized fruit, you are giving your liver a break. It is actually the exact opposite. When you starve your body of essential amino acids and flood it with concentrated fruit sugars, you are effectively shutting down the very machinery you are trying to fix. Your liver does not work like a kitchen sponge that you can just squeeze out. It is a complex chemical processing plant that operates in two distinct phases. Phase 1 is known as functionalization. Here, your liver uses enzymes to break down toxins into intermediate forms. These intermediates are often more reactive and more dangerous than the original toxins. If you do not have the resources to move these substances immediately into Phase 2, they sit in your system and cause massive oxidative stress. This is where most people get stuck. Phase 2 is conjugation. This is the part where your liver actually neutralizes those dangerous intermediates by attaching them to specific molecules like glycine, taurine, or sulfur. This makes the toxins water-soluble, so your body can finally get rid of them. Here is the catch that the detox gurus never mention. Phase 2 is incredibly nutrient expensive. It requires high-quality protein and specific micronutrients found in cruciferous vegetables and animal products. When you go on a juice cleanse, you are providing plenty of sugar for energy, but zero of the raw materials needed for Phase 2. You are essentially starting a fire in Phase 1 and then taking away the water supply for Phase 2. You are not detoxing. You are creating a metabolic bottleneck that leaves your liver more congested than when you started. You cannot starve your way into a healthy metabolism. You have to provide the specific chemical tools your liver needs to do its job. If you want to unclog the system, you must stop looking for a magic potion and start focusing on the actual biochemistry of clearance. To begin this process, we must talk about choline. Think of choline as the delivery truck for your liver. Without it, the fat your liver is trying to process has no way to leave. It gets stuck, packed into the organ like a warehouse with no shipping department. Research shows that a deficiency in choline is one of the primary drivers of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. You need to prioritize egg yolks or high-quality supplements to ensure your liver can actually package those fats into very low-density lipoproteins and move them out into the bloodstream where they can be used for energy. Next, we look at the power of cruciferous vegetables. Broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and kale are not just filler for your plate. They contain compounds called glucosinolates. These molecules trigger the phase 2 detoxification enzymes in your liver. This is the stage where the liver takes fat-soluble toxins and converts them into water-soluble forms so your body can actually eliminate them. If you skip these, you are essentially leaving the trash bags in the hallway of your metabolism. You are not just eating for fiber, you are eating for chemical clearance. You must understand that your liver is a chemical processing plant, and these vegetables provide the specific catalysts required to keep the lines moving. Finally, we must address the timing of your intake. You cannot expect your liver to burn fat while insulin is high. Every time you snack, even on something healthy, you signal to your liver that it is in storage mode. To re-enable fat oxidation, you must create windows of time where insulin levels are allowed to drop to baseline. This is where the biological shift happens. When insulin is low, the liver can finally access its own stored fat for fuel. I recommend a structured eating window that allows for at least 16 hours of fasting. This is not about calorie restriction, it is about hormonal signaling. You are giving your hepatic system the silence it needs to hear the signal to burn. If you do not give it that space, you are constantly screaming at your metabolism to stay in storage mode. Stop overcomplicating it and start giving your liver the raw materials and the time it requires to function. I know you have spent years blaming your lack of discipline for the numbers on the scale. You have been told by countless influencers and experts that you simply do not want it enough, or that you are not trying hard enough. I am here to tell you that is a lie. Most of the time, your failure to lose weight is not a failure of character. It is a biological bottleneck. If your liver is struggling to process the constant flood of toxins and excess glucose you are providing, it cannot prioritize fat oxidation. It is busy trying to keep your blood chemistry from becoming toxic. You cannot outrun a metabolic system that is stuck in a defensive posture. When you understand that your body is not working against you but is actually trying to protect you, the entire perspective shifts. You are not fighting your own reflection. You are managing a complex series of internal chemical reactions. If you treat your body like a machine that requires specific inputs to function, you stop taking the plateaus so personally. You are a researcher of your own biology. Your liver, your kidneys, and your gut are the engines of your existence. If the engine is clogged, the car will not move, no matter how hard you press the accelerator. You have been pressing the accelerator for years, but the engine has been flooded. Stop looking at health as a matter of aesthetics and start looking at it as a matter of organ function. When you support your hepatic system and respect your metabolic windows, the fat loss becomes a side effect of a healthy body, rather than the primary goal. You are capable of making these changes because you finally have the right information. It is not about eating less, it is about functioning better. Take the pressure off your willpower and put the focus on your physiology. You have the tools now. Use them to give your body the silence it needs to heal and the signals it needs to thrive. I am Zara, and I will see you in the next deep dive into the truth of your health. Focus on the function, and the form will follow.